You are watching Pause. We pause for a second or two. How do we keep life coherent when so much is changing? This is episode 228. Goofy acting Swedish men. Right now, in Sweden, the country I live in, we are in the midst of a serious situation. We are seeing violence at levels and frequencies we have never seen before. Every day there are shootings. Every day there are explosions. And just the night before today, we had 4 explosions. The emotional situation of today's episode is our worn out situation. It is for those times when we feel spread too thin, like we are not enough. When we feel like no matter what we do, it just feels heavy. And that is the current situation in Sweden. The emotional skill of today's episode is specific skill proximity. And proximity is specific for our worn out situation. Proximity is to make conscious what we are close to, physically close to. So right now in Sweden, Swedes are in close proximity with extreme violence. Today's episode is called Goofy Acting Swedish Men. And this is one example of how Swedes close proximity with this new extreme violence how this proximity is making Swedish men want to escape the situation. So whenever we want to escape a situation, there are many ways to do it. And one way is by acting goofy. If we look now at Swedish media, or just look at how many Swedish men are when we are out and about, it is common to see that Swedish men are acting goofy in a way that does not seem to be what they really want to do. It seems forced. It seems sad. It feels like being at a loss, not knowing what to do. Acting goofy in lack of a better way, basically. So when Swedish men act goofy, what they do is that it is impossible to engage in a symmetrical relationship with someone acting goofy. There is nothing to sort of meet there. It's just goofiness. And it's also impossible to achieve traction with a person acting goofy. It has this sort of slippery quality to it. And my personal intention of talking about today's subject is to pause for a second or two and acknowledge this situation. Simply acknowledging that Swedes are worn out. Swedes are in close proximity with extreme violence, and that many Swedish men are emotionally escaping this situation by acting goofy. Oftentimes, simply by pausing and acknowledging where we are can do a lot. This is not a place where we want to be, but nonetheless it is the place where we currently are. This is a subject that is difficult to see a way ahead. This is a subject that, for a Swede, this seems to be a subject that is sort of... It feels like a knot. Like there is something here for us Swedes to learn. That's the feeling. And you, the viewer, can see that I am struggling with this subject. I feel that there is something in this subject where we, Swedish men, will learn a lot. And I have a feeling that our learning will be not linear. Our learning will go like this, back and forth. I have a feeling that will have periods of time of confusion, followed by periods of time of clarity. And it will go back and forth like this. The situation in Sweden is quite unique in that Sweden as a country, as a people, has little or no experience with violence. We were not in the world wars, and 10-20 years ago we had little or no violence at all, basically. You know, some event here or there maybe, but not on the scale we're seeing today, nothing even close. So there is something about how we, as Swedes, grew up not really expecting violence, what we grew up expecting out of life, and then now seeing something completely different from what we grew up expecting. And I think there is something there that will give Sweden its role emotionally for our international context. There's something about it that I think we will learn a lot about this sort of from nothing to a lot. But it is an extremely sort of subject that is hard to navigate. And as you can see me pause now, you can see that it's hard for me to find where to go. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes when we pause, we do not really know where to put our feet. And as a Swede, this is one of the subjects that are just simply very difficult to navigate. And for you, the viewer, you might be of a different nationality. Probably you and your nationality your people, have a subject of your own that has the same sort of quality to it. Perhaps you're thinking about it right now. Perhaps you and your people also have something that just feels like you can see no way forward. It's just blank. And yes, we read books. Yes, we study history. Yes, we look for ideas. We make our own ideas. We try to execute on our ideas. But still, we want our heart to be in it. And to see the way forward with our heart. That is something else than just intellectually planning for something. And that's what we're talking about today, to have our heart with us as we are going forward. And we are in Sweden right now in a worn out state. Basically, every category of profession in Sweden are on their knees right now, struggling to sort of just do their job. Swedes are in a bad shape right now. And yeah, things, it would seem, must change. It must change. And how that will come about, I guess we will see. And one part of it is that we pause for a second or two and have our hearts with us as we move forward. We are going forward, but it is extremely important, essential, that we have our hearts with us. It cannot be just our brain. We must go forward with all of ourselves. Otherwise, it's not for real. That's it for today. Thank you.